Today I will be reviewing the Amazon Basics microphone. Currently, the microphone is connected to my Panasonic GH5S camera directly from this headphone jack output into the microphone input on my camera. The cable I'm using is a 1/8 pin. For those of you who don't know, that's the same cable that you would plug into a headphone jack, except on both sides is the same kind of pin. So now we'll go over a couple of the physical features of the Amazon Basics microphone. It's got 3 knobs on it. The first knob is a polar pattern selector, which I will explain in further detail later. The second knob is the input volume. So that determines how loud your recording will be. I currently have it set to the very max. Keep in mind that the target that you're recording to, so for example, my camera is my target for the mic, also has a setting for adjusting the input volume, whether it's increasing or decreasing it. I currently have my GH5S set to -12. The third knob is the headphone output volume. So you would want to use this headphone port for 2 main reasons. One is obviously for actually having a headphone on. And why would you want to do that? Well, it's better that you can notice right away if there's something wrong with the recording. Maybe it's the volume, maybe there's clipping, maybe there's some sort of background noise, maybe the microphone isn't even on, or something crazy could be happening where you wouldn't notice until the very end of the recording if you didn't have the live recording being sent to your headphone as you were recording it. So there's definitely a value there. The second value is the headphone jack is actually going to go to the microphone jack on a DSLR or mirrorless camera, so that you can record this into more than just a laptop or a desktop. The microphone also has screws on both sides, which lets you adjust the angle of the microphone, or you can also use it to remove the microphone altogether so that you can put it onto a microphone stand using the threaded hole in the bottom. From the bottom of the stand, it measures about 10.5 inches tall. Also, the width measures just over 4.5 inches from one end of the stand to the other, and the microphone itself measures just over 3 inches. Overall, I would say this is a relatively large microphone compared to any other microphones. For example, a Rode USB condenser microphone would be almost half the size of this. I've used the Fine microphone, which is at least a third of the size of this microphone. This microphone takes up a lot of real estate, especially if you're on a small desk or a crowded desk like I usually am. Currently, I'm on my living room dining table. The width is actually about the size of a full roll of tape. So here's a half-used roll of tape for scale. So now let's talk about the polar patterns, and what that means is best illustrated by an example rather than a definition. So right now I'm currently using a cardioid polar pattern, which means that the voice that's coming directly in front of the mic will get captured, but noises around it will be muted or at least decreased. So here's an example. Here I am talking to the front of the mic. Here I am talking to the side of the mic. Here I am talking to the back of the mic. Here I am talking to the other side of the mic. And here I am back at the front of the mic. And just for good measure, here I am talking to the top of the mic. The next polar pattern is omnidirectional. So you can imagine this means that the voice will be the same no matter where I change the direction of this microphone. It should be pretty much uniform and capturing my voice throughout this process, no matter how or where the sound is coming from. It should be a 360-degree capture. Now I'm going to use a bidirectional polar pattern, so it means that it'll capture what's on the front and on the back, but it should be ignoring the sides. So let's test that if that's true. Here's my voice talking directly in front. Here's my voice talking to the side. Here's my voice talking to the back. And here I am back at the front. So now I've switched it to the stereo polar pattern, which means that it's focusing on the left and right. This is especially good for music or for any immersive sort of audio that may have differing sounds on a left versus right channel. Now we'll do a distance test. So here I am talking right at the microphone, and I'm going to try to maintain this volume as I move now 1 foot away from this microphone, and then I will move this about 2 feet away from the microphone. This is now 3 feet away from the microphone, and I am now 4 feet away from the microphone. So let's say I had a louder voice like this, it might be all right. And just to give a quick lesson on microphones, for those of you who don't know, there's two major categories of microphones. One is going to be condenser mics and the other is dynamic microphones. So this Amazon Basics microphone is a condenser one. So condenser microphones are usually flatter and more rectangular shaped. They're typically used for podcasts and USB interfaces. Although there's always exceptions to the rules, it's just the inner technologies are slightly different. The other option is a dynamic microphone. So typically you'll see these as the microphones that you might use at a karaoke bar or that singers would use in a concert. They're typically handheld and used in different scenarios because both of these differ in how sensitive they are. I actually purchased this microphone for 182 Canadian dollars. The price has now since gone down to about 170 Canadian dollars, and if you get it in a silver color, it's even less. So when shopping for a microphone, the question really shouldn't be, should I get a dynamic or condenser microphone? Since both categories can have very low-end microphones that sound bad no matter what, and very high-end microphones that can sound better no matter what, regardless of the category as well. So there's some condenser mics that sound better than some dynamic mics, and there are dynamic mics that sound better than some condenser mics. So it's really not the category that's going to give you the advantage. So now let's compare the Amazon Basics microphone with a few other options. So I have here with me the NASUM microphone, which was only 30 bucks, and it comes with a pop filter as well. I'm currently speaking still through the Amazon Basics microphone, and let's see how this cheap Chinese manufacturer compares. Something to notice right away is that I will now switch the Amazon Basics microphone to be recording from my laptop rather than the camera, since the NASUM does not have a headphone output jack, so it is impossible to connect this to a mirrorless camera. And here's a third microphone that I wanted to test with, which is the UMic lav mic. So that's what I have on my shirt here. I got this for approximately $30 as well, Canadian. And so it's in the same price category as the NASUM mic, but I find this quality to be noticeably better, although not as crystal clear and high richness as the Amazon Basics microphone. But I wanted to add it in anyway, so you had a third reference point for where this the Amazon Basics microphone ranks. Of course, with a $30 microphone, you're not getting features such as multiple different polar patterns. There's no knobs for adjusting the input or output volume easily, and there's obviously no display indicating what's going on. And the display is useful because it has bars that move up and down when the microphone is actually picking up input. So in conclusion, I would say that the Amazon Basics microphone is very well built. It's very sturdy, but it's too big for my purposes. It's too huge and it's taking up just way too much space. Perhaps if I had a microphone arm, it might be okay, but even if I compared it against several different Rode microphones or even a lower end 5-fine microphone, I find this one just to be 2-3 times the size that I want for my setup. Also, if you're going to be using it at a distance, so for example, I was trying to do a podcast with this microphone with 2 other people sitting across this table, and this microphone was just way too quiet for that type of a scenario where everybody is almost 1.5 to 2 feet away. It wasn't as omnidirectional as I had hoped, and that was kind of a fail. So if you're going to be using this on an arm and you're okay with the size and you're okay with the price, and it's going to be talking into it almost like a few inches away from your face, this is a really great microphone. Actually, the quality is quite high. For its price range, you may want to consider other top-end microphones like the Blue Yeti series, which is renowned, or Shure level microphones. Shure is a company that makes usually XLR adapter microphones, so they don't really plug into your laptop. But in this price range, you may want to even invest in a higher end production quality setup. And that's about it for me. So if you have any questions, concerns, please leave a comment. I will always get back to you. If you have any suggestions for other items you'd like to review, or you'd like me to review, I would be more than happy to create those videos for you. Thank you for watching. This has been another No BS review by your host, Janek Mina.